A few months ago, we made a video presenting some ideas for character designs in Tekken 8. This was well before we saw any trailers or even confirmation for the game. In that video, we covered Kazuya, Jin, Jack, Heihachi or Jack Hachi, Law and Paul, Steve and Horong, Nina, Lars, and Alisa. The actual Tekken 8 takes a very different direction to our fanfiction, but still, we had so much fun redesigning those characters that we have a few more to show you here. Krimpai, the TBS artist, came up with concepts for Bryan and Claudio. One of the best fighting game YouTubers, Rubbish, gave his hand at Yoshimitsu, and the incredibly talented Hanny did Anna, Eliza, and Alisa. In this video, I got all those lovely people together for a chat to discuss the thought process behind these redesigns. Enjoy! With Bryan, I think me and you, we both wanted to include him in the original Tekken 8 Ideas video, but we kind of...
It was one of the designs that didn't make it to the video.
Like, the whole idea of that video is that these characters should show some progression, right? And I always thought it was so bizarre how they went through the effort of hiding Bryan's face in his new costume in Tekken 7, and then, because clearly he has something to hide, he's been through some sort of battle damage, and then, he's totally fine. So like Horong, right? Like, if you look under his eye patch with like a camera, his eye's totally fine. He's whatever, right? So I think we wanted to go down the idea that like Bryan is falling apart, and to sort of tie in some links with the Terminator, right?
Which is another movie reference. Our ideas for Tekken 8 was basically put as many movie references as possible.
Because that's what Tekken's always done, and that's more interesting for it. Like, I think initially, like there was a split down, and then we said let's make it more rough. Let's make it like this is a bit too clean.
Yeah, I like the idea of it a lot. I'm generally a pretty big fan of his Tekken 7 design, actually. It's one of the ones I really like.
Yeah, I like how his leg is exposed, right?
Yeah, exactly. You get a visual idea of the fact that he's not fully human. I really like the idea of sort of reinforcing how little he cares about anything, you know? And that he looks disheveled. There was a long-haired version that I guess you guys sort of messed around with. I really like that as well, and that it makes it feel to me that Bryan at some point he just went out. It's World War III. It's Bryan's. He's so happy, basically.
Yeah,
he just went out and he never stopped. Yeah, he never stopped.
Like, he's like a kid in the playground. Like, this is all he's ever wanted. Oh, great. I'm going to kill and murder all I like. Wonderful. I didn't discuss it, Claudio, at all with you. This is something you did. All this was 100% your ideas, Krimpai. And, like, I think your idea for Claudio looks amazing. Like, this is so cool. And he looks Italian as well, like in a very...
Exactly, that was my problem. That was my problem with Tekken 7 design. He doesn't look Italian. He looks like... he doesn't look Tekken as well. He looks like someone from... what was the JoJo? Like from Passione, you know? Like from gangster group from JoJo, part 5.
I love the like little rings on the fingers, like those little details.
Yeah, elegant, but not like... Italians like to show up, you know? They have great outfits. They like jewelry, and at the same time he's from the not a church, but you know, like he's kind of like a priest. He has like almost like a priest status, so he's showing that he's an important person in his country, you know. That was the initial idea.
Yeah, I think you knocked it out of the park here. I think this Claudio not only feels really Claudio, but it almost feels more Claudio, like the idea of Claudio, which I suppose is pretty high praise, but I will give it. I really enjoy the sunglasses. I like that he feels flamboyant in
an exorcistic kind of way, you know?
Yeah, but also in a more sort of fashionable way, because Claudio is super flamboyant in Tekken 7 as well, but his design feels a bit heavy.
Right, a bit dorky, right? He looks like a cosplay. He looks like he right? It's a bit like it's not easygoing enough, for his personality. Like his the way he moves, like it implies someone who is quite easygoing and flamboyant and fashionable and ostentatious. Then his costume is quite heavy and bogged down. I know completely what you mean.
I couldn't see Tekken 7 Claudio sitting at a cafe having an espresso, but I could see this one doing that, which I think is sort of fits the idea, at least the idea of the character I have in my head.
I love it. It's more Claudio than the Claudio. That is high praise. Hanny, what do you think?
Personally, I like Krimpai's second design because he reminds me of Salt Bay.
Salt Bay. It does give off Salt Bay vibe. Maybe Claudio should be sprinkling
because I gave him mustache.
With the blue hand, give him some the blue sparkly salt.
Like the blue salt.
As rage drive, he's like.
And exorcists use salt, right? It's a purifying agent. So that's the connect. Next on the agenda is Hanny, your design. And the first one is Anna. And this is fantastic. I love this. This is because like again it evolves the character in a it's a really stylish way. But it also because Anna is her gameplay is very high risk, high reward. She's a gambly sort of character, and I get real sort of I can imagine her just waltzing into a casino.
Absolutely.
I love it. It's beautiful.
It's actually based on my aunt.
Your aunt?
Because she always wear she's the kind of aunt who always wear high-end fashion like this. Yeah.
Man, you have a fashionable aunt.
I know.
A red thread, whatever, through all these designs, Hanny, is that to me they feel very you. And I could, when I look at them, it almost feels like they're already in a Tekken game as a, one of those guest illustrator costumes.
Yeah,
so they feel very Tekken, but they also feel super you.
Yeah, you remember they added this Lily wedding dress costume in Tekken 6, where she had a chain or something like that. It was it was a really cool costume, but it also felt very uniquely distinct to that artist.
Most importantly, she looks like Femme Fatale, and that's Anna. She has to look like Femme Fatale.
There are two for Eliza here. These are eye-catching, lovely. And I think it's a big step up from her current costume, which is a bit too, I don't know. Her current costume is very sort of, looks like a 90, like a dressing gown or something. It's just, it's not very creative. But these are lovely.
Yeah, I think the first design really fits with the idea of I was about to say Lady of the Night, but that sounds like prostitute, so that's not what I mean. But she seems, because the idea of a female vampire is a pretty mature. Vampires are always depicted as a sort of
they're sexual beings, right?
Yeah, sexual beings, sexuality first, but they're also mature.
Yeah,
and old and mature, that sort of idea.
They're thousands of years old.
And I really like that idea, and I like that idea for Eliza. I'm not a super big fan of how she's characterized in Tekken 7. She's too much of a weird Joe. So I think the first design to me is way superior than any that is currently in any Tekken game. So, a great job.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Love it. I don't know which one I like more. I think the second design because it's darker than the first one. Yeah, I love the second design. She looks vampiric. She looks like an actual vampire instead of what we got in Tekken 7.
Let's go on to Alisa finally, and this is a real contrast to Eliza. In that like that one's sort of demonic, and Alisa here looks quite angelic. This is awesome. it's yeah. Like I really like the sort of metallic wings.
I will reiterate the thing that it feels super like one of those like guest costumes. Alisa had one in Tag 2 where she was super robotic, and this sort of feels a bit like that, but I probably would have a hard time seeing it as like her main outfit. But I do like how it feels very retro. It feels very and Alisa as a character kind of fits that concept, that sort of like Chobits idea of this sort of angelic robot.
Yeah.
That can, it's like the Japanese take on the Powerpuff Girls. She's sugar and spice, everything nice.
Good shout out on Chobits.
I love it, but I want to know from Hanny what was the exact inspiration.
Yeah.
Because this was a long time ago, so I actually don't really remember my inspiration for this one, but it probably I based on the ballad. Yeah, because I think her fighting style is based on figure skating and a little bit ballet.
What were your about your Eliza costumes as well? What was your inspiration or thought process behind the Eliza one?
The first one is actually based on the design of a perfume bottle.
A perfume bottle?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll definitely check it out.
Yeah.
What about the second Eliza?
The second one is based on actually it's based on To Be from Nier Automata, because it was my first time designing this kind of clothing, so I know where to get the reference.
As a person that when it comes to shoes, I have a semi-shoe interest in real life, but when I'm drawing people, shoes are very low on the list of like design. And all of the shoes on all of your designs are great. I love all of them. I think they're super good and they fit so well with the designs. I love the rose on the first Eliza on the ribbon. And I think the sandals work so well with the sort of high socks or stockings with the second design.
Thank you.
Yeah, this is crazy. Guys, do you wanna deliver your thoughts on this?
I personally love the color palette and everything about it. It looks like I even complimented it on our Discord that it reminds me of what's the name of the artist that does covers for Final Fantasy games?
Yoshitaka Amano.
Exactly. It has Amano vibes all over it, which is a big compliment.
Yeah, that's high praise.
I also got Amano vibes. It's quite esoteric. I think there's something kind of terrifying about it too. There's like, I get kind of a dark fantasy, Dark Souls, bit of an insectoid vibe as well. And he has been an insect. He also looks like, a Buddhist statue. He has been a Buddhist statue. It feels like a synthesis of everything that Yoshimitsu has been in the past, but like there's a real macabre side to it too, which I really like.
I think that Ravish really had a great time designing Yoshimitsu, because that Yoshimitsu doesn't have really a same design in every game, so like he can go crazy on it, and he looks kind of scary, like what he gives me in Tekken 4. I like it.
Yeah, exactly. I like it when Yoshimitsu is terrifying. I think there should be that element to the character. Though I do see what you mean about the shoes.
Yeah, they're a bit tacked on, perhaps.
But yeah. What are your thoughts and inspiration?
To me, I think the two strongest Yoshimitsu designs are easily Tekken 3 and Tekken 4. I think they capture that sort of unknowable quantity, but it's still sort of vaguely plausible. It could just be armor. And Yoshi has this character that shows up, and in Tekken 3 he has like a beam sword. Like, where did he get that? And everything is sort of like, is it organic or is it not? Where do you get this stuff? Why does he wear it? Why does he sound like that? That's sort of the essence of the character. And I really dislike his Tekken 7 iteration, I will say. I think there are ups and downs for Yoshi in terms of design, but I think Tekken 7 just goes whole hog into the idea that Yoshi is just weird. Yeah. Oh, Yoshi's character design is that he's weird. Like, what is the reason for having tentacles? Like, that would only be a hindrance.
It doesn't seem practical at all, right?
Yeah.
Like, there's always been this abstract, esoteric quality to them, but it's never been just weird for the sake of being weird.
Yeah. And it's so overtly organic as well.
Yeah.
Which is, it's hard for me to sort of reconcile with that. So I wanted to do something that looked like it was both worked by hand, but also grown. So that was sort of the idea. I sketched up variant of it. I showed pretty early, and you, Krimpai, gave me a tip, basically, or you said it reminded you of a Warhammer thing. I think they're called the OCR Bone Reaper, something like that. Also pretty esoteric name. And I really liked that. It was pretty similar. And I liked the fact that they were sort of very ornamental as well. So I tried to incorporate that. And I think that really works with the sort of like grown and then worked. Like someone grew this thing and then they mashed a bunch of bronze and like stuff into it.
You've really clearly thought about this on like from a very like conceptual, like what is Yoshimitsu about? And that immediately comes through. Thank you very much for watching. A massive shout out to Krimpai, Rubbish, and Hanny for their amazing artwork and taking the time to chat with me. Please check the description for links to more of their art. We'd also like to thank our generous patrons for supporting this channel. For $1 a month, you can get early access to videos, as well as your name listed here. Have an excellent day everyone, and hope you enjoy the upcoming Tekken World Tour Finals in Amsterdam.